Sit, all you vinyl varmints and all you record collecting crew. If I got a box of records for you.
I didn't drop it this time. This time I threw it down.
You threw it down.
This is take two.
Okay. Guess who?
The producer screwed up. There's a guy you like to call Bill Gates is.
Guess who forgot her
What a day.
Yes.
What a day.
Yes. This is why the rhythmic intro there. Semi-rhythmic intro.
Could be
Harmonica Lounge is at home.
Yeah, and hello to our new subscribers.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
Yes.
Hope you like what you're going to see today.
Yeah, we're going to have a show about bootlegs. Episode number 11, actually, Rolling Stones bootlegs. And Shadow Man?
Yes.
Nice to see you. Nice to be here in Studio F.
It's good to see you back here.
Yeah, we had the computer died on
Good Friday.
Friday.
Is there coincidence?
But it has been resurrected and we are back here.
Whether you like it or not.
And we're going to be redoing every one of the episodes we've taped so far, 1 to 11.
Say what?
No, not really. We thought we'd do them in high def and just like practice them phonetically like a play, but it might not have the spontaneity that we all treasure. Anyway, bootlegs.
Could be better.
Nowadays, somebody might think of a bootleg as a knockoff, an illegal knockoff of a popular album, like a fake that would go into stores and people would buy by mistake. Well, the bootlegs we're talking about were a phenomenon probably from the late 60s to the 90s, whenever vinyl disappeared for the first time. And it was a culture of live recordings and rarities and everything pressed on vinyl. Now, we're going to start off with a very infamous bootleg. Now, you can't even see it on the cover, but there's a stamp on here. Actually says liver than you'll ever be. This is the Rolling Stones recorded live San Diego in their 1969 tour. That's like the Gimme Shelter tour that eventually they put out, Get Your Yayas Out. From the same tour, most of that was from Madison Square Gardens in New York City. Now this was written about in Rolling Stone. This was quite infamous at the time because along with the Dylan bootleg, the red flashing light. Are we having trouble?
No,
here?
we're recording.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Along with the Dylan bootleg, Great White Wonder, there were a couple of the first ones that came out in the rock and roll era. I hate to use that sound like I'm on the game channel or something. But no, nothing on the inside, nothing on the cover except this stamp. Just a pretty decent recording of them on their 69 tour with Mick Taylor. Now this album here, this is a great example of how bootlegs used to come. It just had a cover in the front. Just a one-sheet picture. A lot of these were done by a guy named William Stout, and this pig on the front, this mark of quality. This was on quite a few of them. It was one of the bigger bootleg companies because this was illegal. This was against the copyright laws. They weren't illegal to own, but to put them out was, it was a whole culture to it. In fact, check this out. This is a book called Hot Wax. This is a compilation of a magazine that was out for years. Canadian, I believe. I think that is. This is all bootlegs of different rock and roll artists that were put out illegally recorded, or movie appearances, television appearances, rarities.
That's got 1,000 pages there.
Oh, there is. And not every one of the bootlegs I have today is in there. So obviously there's more. This Stone Age, the one I showed you, and the first one are the same concert, as is this. This one's called Gimme Shelter, and they're all from San Diego, 1969. But one didn't know what was on these things. They were always quite a mystery, so it wasn't like I bought the same concert on purpose just because of a different album cover or something. I wouldn't be that extreme. Now, Shadow Man.
Yes.
This is one of the first ones I ever bought. This is Bright Lights, Big City. This is really, really early. Their first demos, 1962. And there's a few things tacked on at the end, the Montreux rehearsals from 72.
Yes,
But I bought this with you at a stereo store we won't mention in St. Catharines.
I can't even.
About 74.
Oh well. That's...
Yeah, yeah. And that was one of the first boots I ever bought. And this is fantastic because it's got, you know, I Want to Be Loved and all the really early, very cool stuff. Diddly Daddy, excellent. Oh, Brian at his, you know, his prime. They're very vibrant on this.
Is that store still open?
No, I don't think so.
No, nothing's open anymore. Those stores.
No. This is a pretty infamous bootleg. It's called Bedspring Symphony. Box Lunch and Meat Whistle. The Rolling Stones live in concert. This is from their 73 European tour. And it's mostly the Exile stuff, and I think it's got Heartbreaker on there from Goat's Head Soups. So you can tell it's the 73 tour. This is, I believe, taken from a stereo broadcast, like an FM broadcast when they used to do that. Or maybe even a simulcast with TV also. But this was recorded off the radio and pressed into vinyl. As was the Jean Clark Memorial Sonic Barbecue. This is another one here. And this was from 73, Germany. Pretty wild stuff.
Memorial?
Memorial, yes. Mick Taylor just screaming at his big tubular Les Paul Prime there. Another cover by William Stout. The Rolling Stones at Honolulu, 73. Great cartoon of that. A really, really weird version of It's All Over Now. The only place I've ever seen this.
Interesting cover.
Yeah. But the luau.
Is that water damage, Kevin?
I think that's some paste that was on there that kind of discolored
Oh,
after 40 years. Imagine the mucilage went bad after 40 years.
Stuff
Imagine.
goes south after a while.
Now this one, I bought this like this. Somebody had written the songs on the front for me. Thank you. And I noticed that in this one they actually.
Oh, they
Is this one? Oh, this is a vinyl one, colored, but they wrote the songs on the. We got the two on the label. So you wonder why they bother with colored vinyl and then not put anything on the cover.
Costs
But
money.
it all has the trademark of quality. Again, a nice. The only time I've ever seen the pig sticker
Oh, yeah, yeah.
right there. Usually they're stamped right on here. And this was 1970 Europe. It was pretty cool. It's got rollover Beethoven on it. So about the only place I've ever seen them do that. Now this is one called, it's a double. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones. Sing this all together. Oh, time for a drink, I can tell.
Cheers, everybody. I believe that. No, I was going to say that's the gatefold, but it isn't.
No, just two albums inside here. It's mostly off of Satanic Majesties. There's a few early rarities things. Now there's a song on here, Shades of Orange and Loving Sacred Loving, two songs. And they say it's the Rolling Stones with the Beatles and Brian Jones singing and all sorts of crazy rumors. What it is, it's a band called The End that Bill Wyman produced. It doesn't really have, other than that, and I think maybe Charlie plays percussion on it, but it's not a Rolling Stones song. And actually, they're pretty good songs on their own, but they sound like they could fit it right in Satanic Majesties in that psychedelic period. And so this is all this supposedly Beatles involvement, but it's exaggeration or wishful thinking or, you know, something or other. Mendacity, erroneous mendacity.
I'll have to ask Alexa.
Okay.
Explain it.
This one here didn't have a cover on it again, so it got written here, Features a few different things, mostly live stuff, some rarities. The song Schoolboy Blues is on here, which you might know under another title, but we're keeping this to G-rated
Oh,
here.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, not because we're Canadian or anything like that, just because I think of
We like
the
our
nature
channel.
of people who watch this on my
Yeah, this is
YouTube channel.
not for children.
Yes,
Or
yes.
kids.
Very cool. And this has got the Italian "As Tears Go By" on it,
Oh.
which they cut in kind of, you know, like the Beatles did the two German songs, the
Yeah.
Dilly Dig, yeah, 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 and all that. Well, the Stones, they cut "As Tears Go By" in Italian for the European market. And if you're completist and you want to hear that, okay, now we're getting into a couple really nice sort of ones. These are bootlegs, though. It's funny because they give them a serial number, and it really doesn't mean anything. They just, let's give it a serial number. Yeah. This is miscellaneous. And this has got the early stuff at the BBC.
That looks brand new.
Here's something about the BBC. If you played on the BBC, you couldn't play your record. You couldn't play your hit record. You'd had to come in and play it there, and they recorded it, and they'd play that version. But they would allow you to overdub. So these songs I used to think were live, I used to say, how come there's two guitars mixing and then there's a harmonica? Well, it's because Brian's playing two things because they overdubbed it. They weren't above fixing up their live albums either. If you look at the Gimme Shelter DVD, they have some film outtakes, and you can see them working on the live version of Carol, that they're correcting a few flubs and everything. I'm sure that was pretty common practice.
Yeah.
Oh yes, this also has Quand la mie la crème, by her As Tears Go By.
Oh, goodness.
And again, this Shades of Orange. It says the Satanic Outtake with Brian Jones plus the Beatles. That's erroneous.
Erroneous?
Erroneous.
They got it wrong?
Balonious is what it is. This is the Trident mixes. Great. Another double. Fantastic stuff. This is all outtakes. A lot of this stuff that was from the late ended up on the Metamorphosis album. But there's some great stuff that didn't show up legally until the Exile on Main Street reissue a few years ago, where they put some of the stuff that they were working on. But this is quite deluxe. This is very cool, very cool. And,
Blue vinyl. Is that black? It's blue.
yes, it is. It's blue vinyl. I don't even always check that stuff all the time. I used to put this stuff on cassette, right? Yeah, just put the best stuff on cassette
That's right.
for the car, whatever. Okay, Rolling Stones studio work. And again, this is mostly Exile on Main Street. Fantastic. Again, double, with all the stuff listed. Great listings and everything. Of course, you see Bill on the front. He's doing this, which I remember you told me a long time ago means you're being taken.
It's a con.
Yeah, it's a con,
Yeah,
right?
you'll see that in.
I love that.
I forget the
Just
movie.
all taking you for a ride.
The Sting.
Reckless.
From the
Yeah.
Sting.
Yeah.
Little. My Uncle Albert used to do that with 2 fingers and thumb, but it was completely
Yeah,
different.
you completely. We're so sorry, Uncle Albert. Yes. Okay. This says colored vinyl too. I hope this isn't taking hours. It's blue. Oh, they've got the picture of the buy this magazine or we'll shoot this dog off of National Lampoon. But it's printed backwards. Huh. And this is later on. I'm trying to do these in kind of, you know, chronological order. This is more like black and blue 74, 75 things when they were working on things. So this is, you know, I love this band, but this is when the interest started to wane during that period.
Their honeymoon was over?
Yeah. Although they got remarried here. This is with Ronnie Wood. The first tour, 75. This is the tour we see them.
Okay.
Right? This is
Way back.
this is like I believe Los Angeles during the same tour we saw them in Toronto in '75, which we discussed under other ones. And again,
Yeah.
just Nothing on here.
You'll see a
Pretty
ticket
raw, like Ronnie Wood actually went back and did a Faces tour after this. He was just on loan. But it was pretty loose, and yeah.
Tickets for that show, I believe, are $8. Tax included?
Yes, it was.
Tax
We
included.
bought him scalped.
Yeah.
Now this one's a little later on, again, Ronnie Wood stuff, I think from like 81. And this is called Reverse Blues. And I always wondered if when they printed the picture and then someone said, you know that's backwards, Keith's not left-handed. And he went, oh, well it's too late, and we already paid the printer. Maybe we could call it Reverse Blues.
Brilliant.
Like we meant to do it, man.
Happy accident. Yeah.
Oh. Some of these